Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another knife video. Now today's video is one that I've wanted to do for a real long time now. This video today is less about me and actually more about you. I'm striking up a conversation about what your first knife is or was. So do you still have it? Do you still use it? Is it long gone? What was your first knife? And really, again, this video is less about me. I'm going to show you my first knife and really knives. I do have my first knife here today and a couple others that are actually really pretty old and will never leave my collection, basically because of sentimental value. And I want to hear from you. What is your first knife and what knives do you have that have a lot of sentimental value? And before we kick this video off, yes, I am wearing a poop emoji shirt, but that's not what this is about. And look, I even get to offset it. Come on. I'm wearing Fall Raven Vita Pro trousers. So doesn't that kind of like compensate? One for one, right? But if you guys want to see what my first knife and knives were, stay tuned. So today's video is going to be pretty low key, no major editing, nothing super spectacular, and I think at this point I'm finding that my computer is hitting its absolute limit in terms of its crunching capability. I've been doing some a little more sophisticated editing in my last few videos, and I'm sitting here right now waiting for this particular video to finish up here. As you can see, it's just sitting here chugging along at 11% and not going too far. So unfortunately, there's going to be a little bit of noise here from the hum of my computer tower here as the thing sits here and crunches away. So not too much I can do about that. So bear with me. And then at the end of this thing, let's check in and see where I'm at. So this here is literally my very first knife. I have had this since probably the Boy Scouts. I'm thinking I was right around 10 years old when I got this. I remember my parents gave me this for Christmas one year, and I remember the package it was in, and I remember thinking that it was a little intimidating at the time. It's just a nice little stainless steel Craftsman pocket knife. Now I'm not sure what this steel is. I can tell you at this point it's barely sharp. I definitely, need to touch this thing up, but I just wanted to show it to you in its actual sort of native state before I did a bunch of work to it. And, I've cleaned it up. I've kept it pretty nice over the years. And seeing as though this knife was really handled by a kid for a long time, it's actually, all things considered, in beautiful shape. I overall think that it's actually a pretty useful pocket knife. But unfortunately, obviously, there's no clip or anything like that. So, it would really rely on probably wearing like a pair of jeans and putting this in the coin pocket if you wanted to be careful and not lose it, or putting it in a bag or something like that. Being loose in a pair of pants, like cargo pants or something like that, would be a little bit dodgy. But, if I was to carry this, I'd probably carry it maybe if I had a pair of jeans or something like that. Now, I'm not sure what kind of wood this is. It has a little bit of a reddish tint to it. I don't know. Not thinking that's a walnut. Not quite dark enough, but who knows. And then it has obviously some like brass, I guess you'd call that maybe a bolster, and pins. And then 3 different size blades. So I already showed you that's sort of the larger blade. And then here we have the smallest one. What's this funny little stubby guy? And then also this blade here, kind of like almost like a sheep's foot style. It's pretty nice, good size, quality blade, actually pretty nice utility shape. Now again, this knife is just simply one that has a lot of sentimental value to me. I mean, is it worth anything? No, not really, but definitely sentimental value. This is one of those things that I'll probably keep forever just because it kind of reminds me of being a kid. And, it definitely has some good utility. I mean, I could definitely sharpen this up and get it nice back and tuned up. And I'm thrilled to find that, I managed to keep it in really nice shape over time. So this was my very first knife. Now at some point in time, this was really what I would consider to be my second knife. I don't remember exactly when I got this. I was probably in my early teens. Now, I did do a lot of fishing when I was younger, but I don't do a lot of fishing in general. And this is a fishing model Swiss Army knife. And if I look closely, I can see that this is a winger. So, this to me, I obviously used a ton. In fact, you can see it's pretty well beat up, and actually in spots, somehow it got kind of melted. And then over here, it got melted. And I remember that was like really melted, and at some point I kind of sanded it off to smooth it back out. But this thing definitely has a ton of use. I used this through all of my high school years, and really, I don't use it too much more. I keep it in my collection because of that sentimental value. And again, this is one of those knives that I will definitely keep in my collection for that reason. You can see here the end of that knife's been doing a lot of digging into some different things. And so, it's, again, not very sharp. Definitely needs to be tuned up. The tools on here are pretty useful overall. Basically you have here a bottle opener and a flathead screwdriver. Here you have your can opener, the smaller blade, the larger blade. Then on this side you have that Phillips screwdriver, the awl, definitely a nice tool. Has a little loop in case you want to put this on your keychain, which I never really would. And then for me, something that I've never really understood, that's sort of like your fish scaler, and I'm not sure exactly what that's for. Maybe like a hook puller or something like that. I'm not too sure, and again, not really too much into the fishing these days. And that is basically completely unused. So I would probably gravitate towards this tool even now if it had the saw on it and not really that sort of fish scaler. But to me, that fish scaler is not really that useful. Now, the overall blades are definitely useful. That is a nice size utility blade, great for an EDC. Again, this could fit in a pocket with ease. Connect it to your keychain if you wanted to. But, this, like I said, is one of my sort of early on knives. I love this thing just sentimentally. I would never let it go, and it just kind of sits there in my collection. And the final blade I'm going to show you today is this Spyderco Endura. This is one of my babies. I love this knife. I got this knife after a long night of partying at a college when I was in high school. And that's when I learned what college was all about. So a lot of sentimental value, a lot of good times come back to my memories thinking about when I got this and that point of my life. It's in overall beautiful shape. This particular Endura, I was going to say, is roughly vintage 1997. So this is, for all things considered, since 1997, in overall beautiful shape. I have carried this a ton. I even carried it today. Overall, you can see here just the way the clip is. It's a molded clip. I think they're a little bit different now. Doesn't necessarily have that molded clip. But overall, this Aus-8 steel has held up beautifully. Has some little nicks and little sort of imperfections, but that adds to the character. I broke off one of the serrations, so that middle serration's completely missing there. But overall, this blade has a beautiful profile, has held an excellent edge. I've been able to get it nice and shaving sharp numbers and numbers of times, and it's never failed me. And again, the action on this thing is beautiful. Just quick, fast, nice piercing tip. I love this knife. So Again, just one of those things that's going to stay in my collection because of the sentimental value, not because it's necessarily worth anything or because, any other real reason, but mainly because of sentimental value and what it means to me. And here we are just chugging along. So alright guys, there you have it. A real quick walk down my knife memory lane. So again, I'm reaching out to you. I'm saying, what knives do you have? What blades are in your collection that sort of flash back, bring you back to a certain point in time? They have sentimental value, a reason why you're holding on to them. Maybe they're a blade that have value or not, but really the main value is not a price or a dollar amount, but rather that sentimental value. So drop me a comment, put it in the comments below, strike up a conversation. I would love to hear what you have to say. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.